haven't rated a book 1 star since Oryx and Crake. Where do I begin? Where do I begin? I guess I'll begin by telling you what it's about. I'm Thinking of Ending Things by Ian Reid is about a girl in a fairly new relationship with this guy named Jake on a mini road trip on their way to have dinner with his parents for the first time, and she's thinking of ending things. That's basically the story. It's basically that. Except throughout the story, there's random pages that break up the story that are just like this. And each line is like someone talking, so it's just like random dialogue about a body that they found, basically. And each time you come across one of those pages, I guess you find a little bit more information about what happened to this body or who it might be, but not really. The road trip is basically just this person thinking about ending things and how she's not nervous about meeting his family because she's going to break up with him soon anyway. It's got like some flashbacks and stuff because there's a lot of like her just thinking about some weird stuff that's happened to her in the past that she's thought about telling Jake about but has not and isn't sure if she should now because so much time has gone by that she's let this weird stuff continue. The dialogue between her and Jake and pretty much everyone in the story is incredibly awkward, is really bad. And the writing was also really bad in my opinion. It was just full of short, really tiny, unnecessarily tiny sentences. I'm gonna see if I can find some non-spoiler examples, which should be easy since the story is filled with them. Oh look at this! I didn't even realize this. My copy is signed. That makes me feel awful. Also, the thing that bothered me was more than once throughout the story, the girl asks Jake how the roads are. She's in the car with him! How does she not know how the roads are? This one's just, it's like kind of like a sexy scene, I guess, except it's not sexy at all. It's awkward. I'm gonna read it. I thought we were about to have sex. I didn't know what to say. I went along with it. I'd never done that before. When we were finished, he collapsed on top of me. Like, it's just like, that's so awkward, right? Am I the only one who thinks that's awkward? There is a small, dirty bookcase beside the painting. It's full of old papers. Pages and pages. Drawings. I pick one up. The paper is thick. And another. They're all of this room. They're all of the basement. I can hear someone. Talking. 2 people. I can. From where? It's Jake's mom and dad upstairs. They're arguing again. On my left is a door with a small stylized J hanging from it. Jake's old bedroom. I walk in. I sit down on Jake's bed and look around. Lots of books. 4 full cases. Candles on top of each bookcase. The bed is soft. So there was that. The writing was a big thing for me. The short, choppy sentences, the incredibly awkward dialogue, the just incredibly awkward, uncomfortable scenes, the entire story was incredibly uncomfortable. I just felt really uncomfortable reading it. And I know you people who like this book are going to say, you're going to say it was supposed to make me feel uncomfortable. Well, guess what? I didn't like it. I don't care if it was supposed to make me feel uncomfortable. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy the feeling of how uncomfortable this book made me feel. It was like it was invading my privacy. And then, on top of that, the twist that wasn't really a twist because, I mean, I feel like anyone should see it coming a million miles away, at least part of it. At least part of it. Because I had a very good idea of what the twist was. And I was hoping it wasn't it, because that's always what the twist is, and it's always not surprising. It was really frustrating, first of all, because I felt like it was a huge cop-out. It was a huge cop-out. And it didn't even really make sense. And when I say that, I mean, like, I don't mean I didn't get it, because I get it, but it doesn't make sense, like, with a lot of the rest of the story. I mean, I guess it sort of explains it, but in a cop-out way. In a way that's bullshit. And so that made me angry, and it doesn't work, a lot of it. It doesn't work anyway. I feel like it just makes the entire story pointless. Incredibly pointless. And then, to top it all off, no spoilers, don't worry, no spoilers, but at the end, it implies that you have to read the book again. No! I'm not reading this again. Also, the only reason that I read the whole thing is because it's short. It's 200 pages. And I read it in a few hours. And I read it in over 2 days because I started it in the late afternoon on one day. And I finished it the next morning. And there were a few times throughout the book where I wanted to stop reading it. But I was like, it's so short though. Like, I'm going to be finished it soon. And when I had 30 pages left, I wanted to stop reading it. Because I was completely, like, I knew exactly what was happening. And I was like, ugh, this isn't even interesting anymore. And this isn't even suspenseful. It's not even creepy anymore. It's just stupid. But I read it anyway because I only had 30 pages left, so, like, whatever. And I feel like I have never felt so frustrated finishing a book than I have finishing this one. I'm really incredibly frustrated that I spent a couple hours reading this book. It's really frustrating. I didn't like it at all. I thought it was awful. I thought it was horrible. So I gave it 1 star. So, if you liked it, I'm sorry if I offended you, but I didn't like it. So, there you go. That's great if you liked it. Ooh, also, how about the people who did like it? If you did read it for a second time, tell me down below the stuff that becomes more clear the second time, because I feel like there's nothing that needs to be more clear. Like, I feel like there's nothing that is confusing that needs to be re-looked at a second time. But, you know, if you had that and you read it the second time and it made things clear for you, tell me what it was, because I'm not reading it again.